500 miles. In 2 miles, I will have ridden 500 in the month of July. This almost didn't make it into a Century Project video. Honestly, I've been having some serious concerns about the Century Project, but we're going to change it up. We're going to figure it out. I'm Daniel Sills, and this is the Century Project.
And it still almost never made it to a Century Project video because I'm not gonna lie, the Century Project was inches away from being canned entirely. See, I watch a lot of YouTube, like a lot of YouTube. Since I was probably like 8, 9, 10, I don't know, I have had this fundamental understanding that video and movies are art, and I always wanted like the Century Project to be like my foot in the door to making that art. But I quickly realized through these last 2 videos and the attempt at making a third video that I fundamentally lost the purpose of this series by doing that. Documentation. This is about documentation. It's not about making art. So this is the first glimpse of the future of the Century Project. Weekly video journal entries of my activities, goals, passions, experiences, you name it. If you know Wheezy Waiter on YouTube, think of this like Wheezy News, but for the Century Project. I don't intend for this to be the long-term form of the Century Project, but I needed a minimum viable product. It can only get better from here. You know, if I do 3 weeks of this and it becomes more flashy, epic. But if I do a year of this and I have really amazing documentation of that year through this, then it's accomplished the goal. It's done what it needs to do. So I'll be satisfied. So it's been 3 months since the last video I made. Wow. What the heck have I been up to? Mostly school. I'm not gonna lie. It's been mostly school. But I have done some cool stuff. So I guess let's start by wrapping up some loose ends. I started this series on doing 3 hobbies and I never did the other 2 hobbies. So let's see, the 3 hobbies were make money, keep you healthy, and keep you creative. So for exercise, I started out the summer primarily running, but got super into road biking. I did resistance training on Olympic rings. And then, as you saw in July, I rode over 500 miles on my bike. Like I said, I got really into biking. And that was for a challenge that I competed in on Strava. Hit me up on Strava. But the long-term goal with my fitness is to live a long, happy, and healthy life, but I eventually want to do an Ironman, which consists of a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, and a full 26.2 mile marathon, all in one day. I'm terrified. And to keep me creative, I like to make stuff. These videos have been an incredible creative expression for me, but late in the summer I made this jacket. Yes! And that was pretty cool. Okay, so now for the non-structured stuff. I took up mountain biking, which was an incredible experience, and I got to partake in an incredible community that was right in my backyard. I wish I had taken some GoPro footage of me mountain biking, although it probably would have looked super lame because I'm not very good. I completed my semester of summer courses, so that was cool. We took a family vacation to Columbus, Ohio to visit my sister, which was a ton of fun. I went mountain biking and did a ton of disc golf. Oh, I got into disc golfing too! Disc golfing is super rad. I'm okay at disc golfing. Maybe I'll make a video about that sometime. Who knows? And just 2 weeks ago, I moved into my apartment in Louisville. So that's super cool. This is my room. Maybe we'll do a room tour sometime. Who knows? The world is our oyster. This is the Century Project. And last Monday was the first day of classes. So that's super duper exciting. Okay, so I guess let's talk about like the nearish future just a little bit. Short term, I have some neat challenges for myself that I'm super stoked about, and some cool classes that I'm taking this semester. I'm taking my first class in my entrepreneurship minor, which I am so incredibly stoked about. As a part of that, we're reading this book. Oh, it's over here. We're reading this book called Thinker Toys, and it is all a bunch of It's a massive collection of creativity methods and activities for expanding your mind and making you more creative. It's so cool. Which takes me to my second thing. Because I've been reading a lot, this book, I've been experimenting with speed reading tactics, which has been such a fun thing for me. I have what I'm considering the 3 levels of speed reading that I want to work through to hopefully be able to tackle more books faster, because I genuinely like reading. It has always just felt like a huge chore to me. Okay, so the 3 levels of speed reading. 1, quit sub-vocalizing. Okay, you follow me here? When you're reading, do you say the words to yourself in your head? If you do, stop it. It's making you slower. The average reading speed is equivalent to the average speaking speed of 300 words per minute. This is because of sub-vocalization, so stop it. It's making you slower. And then 2 and 3 I'll classify as chunking and advanced chunking. For chunking, you divide your page into 3 different columns, and then instead of reading word by word, you read chunk by chunks, scanning each chunk and just going through like that. But then this takes you from reading words to reading chunks. And, obviously 3 is faster than 10 or however many words they can put on a line. For advanced chunking, you take your 3 columns again, and then you just look at the center column and you use your peripheral vision to scan the entire line at a time. And then you just scan down the page. Is that not crazy? Speed reading is ridiculous as somebody that is a very slow reader. So currently I'm only on step 1, but I've seen incredible results. So last week I had to read 6 chapters of this book, which have been mind-boggling task. But the first 2 chapters took me 3 hours, taking no speed reading tactics into account. The second 2 chapters, I bounced back and forth between not sub-vocalizing and sub-vocalizing and different things like that, really trying to nail down the technique, and it took me about an hour and a half-ish, maybe. And then the final 2 chapters of my reading I accomplished in under 40 minutes. 40 minutes! Is that not crazy? Okay, so moving on. Okay, so in my exercising, I'm about to embark on the Global Bike Challenge, which apparently my university is somewhat involved in, so maybe I'll get some cool prizes, but then also I've seen mixed reports and they may not be participating this year or something ridiculous like that. So I'm just taking it as an excuse to ride a ridiculous amount on my bike, because I like riding my bike. Outside of biking, I'm currently working on a cut, which means I'm actively trying to lose weight just to push my limits and challenge myself mostly. Additionally, by reducing my body fat percentage, it will make doing a bulk in the winter more effective. Currently, my set weight is around 172, which means my body, under current circumstances with optimal water intake, will naturally balance to within about 2 pounds of 172 up or down. Through the process of bulking, I want to grow my muscles and raise this set weight for next summer whenever I will do another cut by roughly 5-ish pounds. I'm trying to be conservative. Maybe 5 pounds isn't conservative. I haven't done a lot of research. I'll do research later, I promise. This is for sure a long-term process of me continually just experimenting with what I can do with my body. My entire exercise and health motivator has always been out of curiosity and passion to push my body past the next thing that I think is impossible. Thus, the long-term goal of doing an Ironman. I still think it's impossible, but little steps, baby steps. I'm biking. I like bikes. So, sorry there wasn't more flash to this video, but this is about documentation. It's not about art. And I am going to continue saying that. So, this video is long, but this is the new Century project. It can only get better from here. This is the minimum viable product. I'm Danny Sills, and this is the Century project.